Alright. We're going to have a very short meeting. I'm going to address some people in this meeting. Alright. Some of those people are not here. None of the overlords except Jacob are here. I'm going to say this before I wrangle control back of the group next month if it continues. Stop firing into the spawn exits unless people are firing at you from the spawn exits. Zane, if I catch you throwing pestilence on the spawn again, I will eject you from the group. Stop acting reactionary. Contact somebody if they're being stupid before you start being stupid back. That's pretty much it. We do need some promotions, and I think we've got a new cultist eventually. If you've been inactive, don't expect promotions. If you've been inactive and you have a marauder or up rank, expect a demotion soon unless you start doing things. Which means training people. Which means talk to Rachel or Tyro. Because there are other people that have been waiting for promotions for a long time now, and there are a lot of people that don't deserve their ranks anymore because they're not doing anything. If there is a problem within the group, talk to me, Gigawatts, Seth, or Clary, because we are now the active enforcers. I am head enforcer because no one else was doing anything but Seth. That's not meant as an insult to any of the other enforcers because I know that they're busy. Gig's on his way of actually having a life that doesn't involve the army showers.
I miss the army showers already.
Yeah.
They kept me so warm.
In terms of R&D, Dredd has a list that I'm going to tell him to completely rework because some things that are on there are stupid and are going to take too long. Which means that by the end of next week, you should expect to see the Vulture and the Wyvern because they are done. The Nurgle Champion gear will be out soon. I think that there's just a couple more things we have to do with the axe. The zombies will be added to the Plague Sword when the Plague Sword texture is done. Hint, hint, Sarah. The way that the zombies will res from the Plague Sword is instead of the Plague Sword doing the standard infection system when it's poked into the ground, it will do zombie infection. So when the person that is infected with the zombie infection dies, it will res a zombie. And then when that zombie kills someone, it will res more zombies. Okay. There is a Slaanesh broadsword that Zane made. It is pretty nice. Any Slaanesh followers, we are open to suggestions on what its special effect should be. I have no idea where we're at on the melee animations for the chain axe. Expect it to never get done.
Precisely.
The Terminator armor is almost ready to be added to the armory. I don't know how much corruption it's going to cost, but it's going to be a lot. Godfavor has been Dredd updated the raid payout HUD without talking to me and forgetting that him and I set the numbers in the raid payout HUD at a specific rate for a very specific reason because he thought that people could earn more corruption doing melee than doing raids, which was the point. So, the cost of Godfavor has gone up exponentially. So the extra corruption you've been getting is actually equivalent to the same amount of corruption you were getting before. So be glad that you got your Godfavor when you did, because now melee kills are worthless.
Is that going to be back to the way it was?
I hope so, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go. Because right now, melee kills are worthless. So, I don't know how that's gonna get exchanged out later, or what. I'd like for it to just get rolled back to how it was, and anybody caught using the current HUD will be griefed and never allowed to have corruption again. because the way that it was before made more sense, and it wasn't this convoluted mess of numbers you'll never be able to get rid of. There will be more corruption stuff added to the armory as more accessories and weapons that we don't need in the main armory get made. Which we're at that point right now where we don't really need much per division. After the Vulture and the fucking Wyvern get released, the only two divisional vehicles left are the Tauros, the two different Tauroses, one of which is textured already, the other one isn't, and the Idolator. And then I think we're gonna get an Infidel fleet ship for Ferrum or Mortis. We might switch around the way that they work, because the Idolator is actually more of a support vessel than it is, and the Infidel is more of an attack vessel. It's a ramming and torpedo vessel. So that the Infidel might actually go to Mortis, and the Idolator might actually go to Ferrum. But we'll figure that out as we go. And then we want to get like a couple modular cruisers made later on and shit. There were a lot of talks about redesigning the armor, but I'm gonna tell you guys right now that the SOMC has like a year at most left, and it would be a huge waste of development time to redesign the armor at this point when we could make a bunch more weapons and shit like that. So I hope everybody's cool with that. I mean,
Dark Heresy roleplay?
yeah. I mean, I can be overruled on that, but I think
it'd be something for some of the guys to do who want to like make clothes and be a good practice for them at least.
yeah,
Erotic chaos roleplay.
yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't necessarily set aside the time to do a full armor set. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, if it gets used and everybody can agree on it, but if it's everybody running around in different armors and shit, it's gonna be a big problem. I'd much rather take the time to work on the Space Marine armor with Hallie so that there's more corruption unlocks and shit like that. So, that being said, Schneebly and I are working on a system for registering damaged land and damaged parcels. When we get it done, it'll work kind of like how the Stargate network works, except for it'll be new and not quite as broken as the Stargate network. We'll be able to gather data about combat sims, including like what group's gun's most popular among that group and things like that. And it'll also like let us know of any damaged land that we didn't know about before, because it'll automatically, like, once the gong's res, it'll register it with the database. And eventually we might build like a raid gate system where our gate will detect how many people we have next to it, and it'll ping into the other militaries to see how many people they have, and kind of match us up with a military that we can fight with even numbers, so that it's not overwhelming for the other military or underwhelming for us and that kind of thing. If you guys are looking for something to do, contact a Marauder that's online, hint hint, and go out on a raid. You know, I know there's not a lot of places to go, but you guys tend to forget that All Hallows is around and they have a lot of people, and as bad as it sucks fighting in Takoi Sim, it's still a place to fight, and you can usually instigate them into coming to our sim to fight with us by going there for like 30 minutes. You know, it's nice idling on base all day, but it gets boring, even if we do have the zombies to fight now. So, I would definitely recommend leaving the sim sometime. I think that Dread and I are going to put guns in one of the zombies' hands and make them shoot at people, because that'd be fun.
But, there's always a chance you guys can skirmish against each other, you know, just
yeah,
get a couple teams together and
fight with each other and switch groups. Like, have one side switch to a different group tag, and then you can fight with each other. Good practice. KPC is open now, and they're fairly active because they've absorbed most of 2142. The stragglers have gone to some of the other groups. Amalia joined Silverhawks, which is actually good. It means that they've got a scripter that isn't Frankensteining stuff together. I was talking to Amalia about it, and I was talking to Harmony, which is what brought off the firing into the spawn thing, throwing blight at the spawn exits, things like that. I know that sometimes when you guys are raiding, it can, you know, because it happens with me, it can slip your mind, but give the attackers a chance to get out of the fucking spawn, especially with a group like Silverhawks or XAF, where they don't necessarily have the heavy ordnance that we have. So then when they pull out something that's reactionary, it's built to be reactionary because they don't have the kind of shit that we have. So, like, when they put down their turrets, it's in retaliation to our turrets, and they don't have the infrastructure to have 3 different turrets that do 3 different things and a power network for them. So they have one turret that does all the things that our turret does, you know, or that our 3 turrets do. So you have to realize that, like, even with their guns, a lot of these smaller groups have, like, 1 or 2 guns that do everything that every gun in our armory does because they don't have the content creators to split all that shit up, or the people to split up all those different roles. Like, you know, they've got, like, 4 or 5 guys running around, they're gonna have to be able to do all the different things. So just bear that in mind when you guys start reacting to bullshit. And please, fucking contact somebody before you start griefing them in the spawn. I know that the situation with Silverhawks the other day was because there was no communication until it was too late. And that wasn't Dread's fault, and I'm not saying it was in this regard, because Dread did contact them, but they were reacting to something Deli was doing. And you guys are welcome to spawn kill Deli or put him on timeout if he's being stupid. I don't like doing that, but I guarantee you that if somebody from Silverhawks had asked you guys, or said, hey, why is Deli in the arc gunship? It's killing us through walls. Dread would have told him to get out of the gunship. You know what I mean? And that's just on their part. I've told them numerous times to contact us and we'll fix something if it's really a big problem. You know. The bolts in the bolter turret are going to get updated. The fucking, god damn it, I can't think. The Mechanicus HUD, when it gets updated next, will respond to the cleanup command, and all the shit will explode when you click the cleanup button, and then there will be no excuse for there being lingering turrets around the sim constantly. Who just messaged me on Facebook? Oh, okay. That was Dread telling me that he was going to put the Imperial Lasgun back out and an update box for it. Okay. If you see someone being stupid and using the wrong version of LBA, send them the LBA 2.07 starter kit. If you don't have the LBA 2.07 starter kit, message me for a copy. Or actually, I have a better idea. No, I'm just going to put it down for sale in the spawn.
How can we tell the different versions?
You can right click the armor base and it'll tell you that they have the, like, it'll say LBA 1 version 1 something if they have the wrong armor base version. Our munitions are cross compatible with every version of LBA. So okay. You can now buy the LBA box that is sitting in the spawn that I just put down. For sale, 0 lindens. Next owner can do all these things with. Yeah. And it'll sell you a copy of the object, not the contents. So then you can hand the box around. So Raven Raiders, being the fantastically smart individuals they are, someone told them that Linden Labs shut down the server that runs LBA, because I guess they were under the impression that we work for Linden Labs, and that Linden Labs doesn't want LBA anymore. So they had LBA functioning helicopters with non-LBA missiles in them. And then were trying to tell me that LBA 2 no longer works, as I was hitting them with LBA 2 missiles. And then Vardis told me to fuck off and said bye, but he typed bye B-U-Y instead of B-Y-E. It was pretty funny. Because they're that dumb. So I tried to explain to him to swap the missiles out in his stuff, but he's too stupid to listen because he can barely create a sentence. And Raven has lost his mind because he wants to fuck dragons now or something like that, I don't know. But anyway, if you see somebody using the wrong version of LBA, or they're not damaging our stuff, just send them that LBA starter kit. It's to the point now where, unless somebody specifically asks us, like, they acknowledge the fact that their gear's behind. I don't really give a fuck if you guys use the full LBA versions of stuff, but you need to clear that with Jacob, Sarah, and Ricky as well. We'll have a small meeting about it, and then we'll probably change the rules where the default form of armor will be LBA in the sim. And I'm gonna go put the starter kit out in the spawn, or I'll have Dredd do that, because he might have an updated version of it with a better black box. But anyway. Not our problem, dude. We've been working on LBA for 2 years now. It's really not our problem. Like, the only thing that it would suck for is lone wolves, but if you're pulling out aircraft or a tank against lone wolves, I'm going to log in and grief you.
Or they did something really, really wrong.
Or they did something really, really wrong. Exactly. I'm not saying that you guys have to match the attackers on what they're using, but try not to, like, get in a tank or, like, an Avenger or Hell Talon when the attackers are still on foot using rifles. Like, that's just kind of unreasonable. And if you're getting in a vehicle, please just tell people you're getting in a vehicle, because sometimes that can lead to problems. Like, there might have been an agreement of no vehicles between both OICs beforehand, so then everybody will start being fucking crybabies about it on either side. So, bear in mind. I want to talk to Tyro and Fern about some promotions in a little bit. Which will be like a week or two down the road. Oh, there were some promotions that I think well, Van and Fern aren't here, so I'll have to talk to them afterwards. Brian, are you done with all your training?
I'm pretty sure, I don't know.
What division are you in?
I guess I'm Mortis.
Okay, well, I can't take it. Who here is in Ferrum that's done with all their training that isn't a veteran already? Okay, cool. That's good. Tyro and I don't have to do anything then.
Well, Tyro doesn't do anything anyways.
Yeah. So, if you're in Mortis and you are not a veteran and you are done with your training, you need to talk to Van and Fern to figure out why you are still a renegade. If you are in Ferrum and you are not a veteran and you are done with your training, you need to talk to Tyro or me until Verithan comes back, because Tyro, I'm your XO right now. I just decided. Yeah. It's okay, I don't do anything either, so I'm not going to nag you to do anything. I've been around more than Verithan's been around.
But you also like ass.
Okay, Corn's your XO. There you go.
No, 4 pauses is XO.
Who's grinding? Minus, can you stop, for real? Fuck off.
Promote Morton to vet, please.
Morton?
Yeah.
Okay. You cool with that, Tyro? Too bad, I already did it. Who got kicked?
Gig did. Look at the message.
Would you kick him for something Minus was doing?
No, I kicked him for "We do not speak of No Pause the Furry Trader."
No pause. Wilder.
Yeah.
Alright, Morton,
pause
stand
XO, we don't
still.
speak of-
Where is Morton? I need his avatar key. Sorry, this meeting was kind of unorganized. I want to reiterate. Stop going into the spawn and killing people. The end. Goodbye.
Bye.
That's it. I just got here. I
Bye.
didn't hear anything, dude.